Gaming and Esports Center. I'm Carson Cash, joined again by Ryan Blankenhorn. We have more Overwatch action in the PEC for you today. Syracuse taking on the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Ryan, what'd you have for dinner?
What did I have for dinner?
Yeah,
I had chicken and fries.
Okay.
It's also what I had for lunch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's not great, like
no,
nutritionally.
No, it
Any
wasn't.
vegetables, or was it just chicken? Or was it just fries and chicken?
You know, I did have a vegetable, but I did try a Minute Maid fruit punch. Oh, no, not good.
Yeah, they're very strong.
It was very sugary.
Yeah, I'm not a big sugar guy generally, but
now I got water.
We've got plenty of sweet action for you here tonight on the Syracuse Esports channel. For a second, I almost thought we were on the Power Esports channel, but no, not tonight.
We were last night.
A matchup that has a lot of implications in it for both teams. Nebraska sitting at the bottom of the PEC. They're winless. They're the only winless team right now, and a win would only put them where they are at 8th. The only one above them is Baylor at 2-8. But Syracuse, if they win, go from 4 to 2nd, essentially, because we are a game behind everybody else in terms of having played. We started that week off with a bye. Boise State on their bye last week. They played Nebraska earlier in the season, so Nebraska's currently sitting at 0-11, despite us having only played 8 games. Bit confusing, but we'll run you through the action generally. It's going to be a very quick season so far for the Orange. They have had a very tough time so far, really dealing with, updates.
Yeah, and today is one of those days. It's patch day, right? So, I mean, if you're Syracuse Overwatch, Carson, you've lost every patch day since you've created.
I mean, it's 2 for this season. But
Yeah, this season, but I mean, if you count Syracuse Overwatch
the same team,
at
twice.
large, yeah, Syracuse Overwatch at large has never won on patch day. That is something that they're looking to break today, and we'll talk a little bit about the patch today. There is a big overarching thing of, hey, there's 5 new characters. Yeah, no, not yet. 2 weeks. Those don't exist yet. In fact, big shout out. I believe it was Doc over at Boise State who made the code. A big thank you to him. He made a code where those characters aren't even in the game.
Wow.
They're already gone.
That's actually really nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. So a big thank you over there to Idaho. But you know, outside of that, we'll talk about those characters as sort of the season goes on. We get closer to them. There's 1 tank, 2 DPS, and 2 support. But there have been some balance changes today that we will discuss here in a little bit.
None of them are major in any way.
No,
I don't
not
think,
really.
other than a Kiriko buff that will essentially make sure she's in every lineup, or like
the sub roles we'll talk about. Though,
pretty much no banning of Kiriko today.
Yeah.
There's sub roles, as you mentioned. No, we're not talking about sandwiches. We both just ate dinner, so neither of us are too hungry. I don't know if you didn't get your filling of chicken and fries. I cannot imagine like there's nothing else. Like
it wasn't good.
Why did you order it?
I needed food. It was like my
cost more
first
to get,
real meal
lettuce?
of the day.
Either way, it's going
Crunchy
to be
water?
it's going to be a silly day today. We played Nebraska last time it happened. The team got a little rowdy when they went up big, and projecting that maybe it's not going to be the same way today because they're a little upset about not being able to play Jetpack Cat, obviously, as anybody really would be. But Nebraska currently sitting at the bottom of the PEC. We are perennial contenders, it looks like, right now. Every year we are primed to make that kind of championship with this roster. Whether that's to happen, we'll see. Utah and Boise State have really picked it up, put themselves back together. Boise State lost 3 last semester, found basically the right team, essentially, to put it back together. Utah, they've got their final pro player in their roster, and they look unstoppable when they are. So we'll see them next week, Utah specifically. Boise State down the road. But right now it's Nebraska, the Cornhuskers, 0-11. I mentioned it a few times before, they really need to find a way to play together as a team, play better as a team, and generally find a comp that works.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? This Nebraska squad is, we talked about it a little bit yesterday on the PEC broadcast, which was, now you're in the second half of the season, right? So now your teams, it is of vital importance for you to really start, in a sense, locking in, right? In a sense, finding that momentum, finding that swing, that shift, so that you can get into the PEC playoffs, get into Vegas, into that HyperX arena, and play well, right? Because right now, we aren't seeing that from some of these teams, and it is really of importance for you to get to that point now, and that's where Nebraska is. Unfortunately, you're going up. There goes my watch. Unfortunately,
we'll display the fallen soldier here.
I don't know. That's been happening a lot recently. But
that
anyways,
has.
They are going up against a Syracuse team that just got swept by Ohio State 2 weeks ago, and then they had a bye. So they're not too happy in the first place. And you're looking to get your first win against a team that is probably still a little enraged after that last loss.
Yeah, Syracuse did not. I don't know how to. It's not sportsmanlike. They played the game. I mean, they played the game how they wanted to. Was kind of the best way I can describe it. We saw our main support on Hanzo, which, if your main support's on Hanzo, typically something is going really well or something is going really wrong. But they're going to look to counter that immediately. The Syracuse pretty much main strategy of dive, which they've been sticking away from by going for a Diva ban or a Lucio ban together. Looks like it's kind of going to be a little bit out of the meta for Diva, especially, who has been pretty good before the patch, but also it's important to remember that Diva's not good right now because there's another tank, but Diva's good when that other tank doesn't exist. So it's going to be a little confusing. We're running on a meta that will only exist for 2 weeks within our small bubble of Overwatch.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's kind of the thing is when you look at some of these characters and you look at where we are right now, it's a little weird. Diva was the ban, and this kind of goes into her survivability. We talked about how there are sub roles in the game now, and this is actually implemented, right? The patch notes didn't really do anything crazy. Vendetta probably should have gotten nerfed a little bit more than she did, personally, I believe, because she was already very, very powerful. And then Kiriko got a nice little touch to her buff as well for healing, but now her swift step, doesn't cleanse you, so that is something to be aware of. But the biggest thing are these sub roles, and there's 2 to 3, or I think there's 3 in each category of tank, DPS, and support.
4 for DPS.
Oh, okay,
Isn't
4.
It might just be 1 long bar and 2 short bars.
We'll tell you about it as the games go on, but to talk about the D.Va ones specifically, so in terms of D.Va, right, in terms of that sub-role, it's called Initiator. No, not like Valorant, Carson. This is where the tanks that are airborne, literally word for word, as you are airborne, you will gain 75 HP per second, which is kind of broken if you think about it, because D.Va can fly for 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why that got put in the game, but it's kind of an attempt to balance out in a different way.
Yep.
You're giving certain heroes a collective buff where you're not now it's not as much as DPS support. Those are very general rules.
Yes.
But now you're going to have a meta that is affected by those weird general rules that are kind of just made up in a back room somewhere where somebody decided, yeah, let's give everybody extra health, and that's what it's going to be tentatively for most of them. Some of them are damage boosts, I believe, but most of them are health related.
Yeah.
And that is mainly because there is not enough survivability in Overwatch, and it feels like to me right now it is a test to find out what makes characters more survivable, what makes it more fun. Well, I guess Overwatch 2, it's not anymore. Now it's just Overwatch, and I think part of that transition is understanding what made Overwatch 1 fun, and the longer fights, I think, really did.
Yeah, and just to quickly run down, we'll talk tanks this game. There is a subcategory of Bruiser, which is Maga, Orisa, Roadhog, and Zarya.
Fitting.
They take minus 25% damage, and they get a 20% movement speed buff overall when they're at critical HP. And then Initiator is D.Va, Doomfist, Winston, and Wrecking Ball. Big surprise, the flying type characters. That's the 75 healing per second.
Ooh,
then the
tech pause.
Stalwart. The Stalwart, which is Domina, who we will not be seeing for the next couple weeks, Hazard, Junker Queen, Ramattra, Reinhardt, and Sigma, and those guys receive 40% less knockback and 40% less less speed overall. So very much sort of the sit still and take damage type of tanks, and they can do that a little bit with this new change-up. So that's kind of where the tanks are now.
Yeah, and we'll go through DPS and support as
Yep.
needed. We don't want to throw information at you that you can go look up right now and go to the wiki, which I highly recommend you do if you want to figure out what's going on today, because it's going to be a long day where things are
Yep.
happening and they don't seem like they should be happening. It's essentially a wild card in a game that's already very confusing. In an effort to complicate the game, it is essentially
very different. And the changes to some of these sub-roles are going to be interesting. I mean, that's the thing, is this is a very big patch for Overwatch outside of relating to those specific new characters, right? With Domina and with all of those guys, right? Outside of those 5 new characters, the biggest thing that you have to consider is the sub-roles, right? The sub-roles are going to add that new change. Like Carson said, you go to the wiki, you can figure it all out. We'll talk about it throughout the broadcast, so don't worry. However, that is the big change, right? Sure, there were some patch notes like, Kiriko has a little bit of change to her. Tracer, she gets a little bit less damage now. Zarya got a pretty decent and well-needed nerf, so she's a little bit less seen in the meta. Vendetta got a slight change to it, right? There were definitely patch notes, but the biggest patches are the 5 new characters, which we'll talk about in 2 weeks, and the sub-roles, which are apparent right now.
Yeah, everybody's got their own bread to work with right now, and we'll make comparisons down the road, I think, to what bread that might be, whether it's ciabatta. I mean, while we have this time, I have to make the actual, like, you can't see us right now, but Ryan is drinking a fizzy soda. And while I cannot tell you the name of the soda, I don't even understand how you are going to sit here and cast when you're about to burp every single time you talk. I support you as a friend, but you cannot. How?
You wanna take bets on that, Carson?
That's a fair point. I over under 1 burp. Do you think?
Oh, definitely over. But that being said, right, we go ahead and we're gonna get ourselves into the matchup here, and you see Basic Brawl coming out from Syracuse is, you've got Vermacho with the Skiri Juno and the Echo cast. So we've seen Syracuse play this type of brawl before. Already 2 kills on a Swimmer Dude and on to Saber on the side of Nebraska, and Syracuse just going to clean wipe right out of this fight. And that's kind of what you want to see from this Syracuse squad, is start off strong, start off with that brawl into the composition that Nebraska is playing, which is a rush, and it's going to be hard to engage on the Syracuse comp.
Yeah, just general destructive. Saint playing very well right now, and what you're seeing is a lot of these guys are able to push forward because Saint and B-Dog doing a very good job to push forward, to keep their team healthy, as Azar gets one back. Swimmer Dude, excuse me, as Saint gets one more. We talk about how our healers play DPS, and you're seeing it here, but Mac, Sharpshooter, doing a lot there. They get a damage buff. Can you believe that? The characters that shoot long get a damage buff.
Yeah, and that's kind of what Syracuse is looking to play for now, is, you know, you have Lunar who kind of just sits there in the front line, and then you've got, you know, the differences, right? So, I mean, we have Azar here on the Echo, which is under the Recon category now, and so it makes a little bit of difference, right? So when you have an enemy below half HP, you can see them through walls, which is kind of broken. 2 trades on either side, though, for Nebraska could get them the start they need. So when they go into this next fight, they're going to be starting off strong, but Syracuse doing not quite what they need to win this next fight. Azar kind of just sitting in the back like, hey, what do I do here?
Yeah, and generally, when the entire other team is gone, there's not much you can do as a DPS. There's too much damage that was dealt. Now you can't deal any more damage, and for a DPS, that's very hard to say. You can't hit M1 and walk forward, as their Juno gets rid of Azar. Forward more, Mac trying to get this Deadeye, but all the players he was going after just kind of walked on that other side. He cancels, gets one in the form of Swimmer Dude, pushing forward again, and they get stuck, backing off again, equipped mid-fight, as Saint gets rid of Jaxol once again, and Lunar pushing the tide forward. B-Dog gets rid of that Tracer, and it's a good job for the Orange. We're just moving forward without really a hitch along the way.
Yeah, I mean, this Syracuse squad, you know, we talk about these different characters and where they're all at in these new subcategories. The way that Saint and B-Dog are playing at the moment is they both get passive regen. One, when they hit with their primary fire, that's going to be B-Dog, gets passive regen, and then Saint just always gets passive regen. So, kind of just sitting there, always living. Syracuse, a great annihilation, is going to come in and get those kills. Azar's on Cassidy here, but not going to matter. That's going to be a round 1 victory for Syracuse. 11% given on over to Nebraska. I mean, Syracuse, a phenomenal job just playing the game. They're playing this brawl comp, but they're playing specifically just for individual value, and that's what these new subcategories can do.
Yeah, and obviously it's a bit difficult to see there with Azar, especially just kind of generally how much they do, but moving forward is a very hard thing to do when you don't have the support right there, but Azar was backed up very well. That team played extremely well together, did a great job just putting it together in a real push. You're looking for kind of offense in terms of grabbing space, and that's what Lunar does. Supports the healers, supports the DPS, took a lot of space with their Mantra, who was not forgotten about by Overwatch this time.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, right? I mean, we talked about how these characters are going to be stalwarts now, right? And they kind of just sit in the front line and kind of just live. And Nebraska, they're going to make a couple changes to their comp. They're going with Cass and the Reaper. So the Reaper is a little bit of a different choice and something to consider going into this next composition as the fight goes forward, and Syracuse already started off strong.
Lunar forward, pushing into a Reaper combo. Interesting strategy here from Nebraska. It doesn't have a lot of survivability, and you're seeing that. Just too much damage out from the Syracuse side. Azar, Mac, and Lunar put out way too much for a Juno Kiriko combo, and that was that, essentially. Syracuse will cap as now they will wait, basically spawn camping Nebraska, despite them not being able to damage them on the ship. Pushing forward, it'll just be a lot of time wasted, time holding is all they're hoping to do. Nebraska going to push forward, try and get some space more to the right. As Lunar, back up top, is just going to watch Azar get rid of Swimmer Dude. Wrong way, as somebody turns around. Finally, it's Reaper who gets rid of them, but 2 tanks brawling in the front. In that Nemesis form, he's going to get rid of Saber 6.
Yeah, I mean, Syracuse is just going to clean sweep out of the rest of this fight here, and I mean, Mac is going to go down to Swimmer Dude, but that's about it. I mean, one thing I also want to add to this Mac on Sojourn is one of the biggest things that makes Sojourn powerful is the slide, right? The ability to just get out of dodge as fast as possible. Every critical shot that Mac hits reduces his movement-based cooldown, which means if he hits 3 critical shots in a row, he might have 2 seconds left on that slide. And when you already have the ability to get 2 slides, it's a little broken.
Yeah, I mean, when you are basically playing a different character with a different movement speed. It's essentially like having Jetpack Cat's fuel boost, if that makes sense. They are moving unbelievably fast. Lunar, again, with that ult, getting rid of Saber in that Nemesis form. Swimmerdude gets a punch off on Mac, and another kill for Swimmerdude. That is the first time a Nebraska player has gotten a double kill this game, but it will end very quickly. Lunar getting rid of them. Pushing forward again as we reach 70%. The Orange are giving up space for the first time, and it feels like forever.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. Like, you're running this Reaper if you are in Nebraska. You can't get into the Syracuse squad. Rush into rush here, Carson.
Yeah, and immediately a response from Syracuse. A Kiriko ult from them, and they respond very well. The Orange with their own. Forward, Lunar taking a lot of damage, but not more than the Cornhuskers. Mac with their ult gets rid of 1, 2. It's the Juno as well as the Reaper, and looking for a third. Slam dunk. Oh my goodness, a posterizer.
And that's the big change that we talked about earlier, Carson, is that Kiriko change is, you know, at the end of the day, Kiriko has always been a very good support. As Syracuse takes the map number 1, Kiriko has always been a good support. The change has been her speed on those healing Afudas, as well as the total healing. And you could see that. I mean, they were healing the Ramatra, and it was just going in at Mach 10, healing Lunar, and he had no fear, sort of just sitting there on Ramatra, just living through the fight, and Syracuse playing a very good game and experimenting a little bit, right? Seeing what they can really get good value on related to these new subclass or subfields of the roles. Is like, hey, I can decrease my cooldown. Hey, I can take more damage. Hey, I can heal myself while damaging you. It's like they're definitely taking a lot more advantage of that.
Yeah, and one thing to note is that kind of dive is dead, unfortunately. Right now in this current meta, especially without the new characters, there's a very little need for dive because just there is so much damage in the brawl that is able to be put out.
Yeah.
And there's no real way to heal your team in a concise manner with the lack of survivability that's come about in Overwatch 2. Now Overwatch, where they're trying to increase survivability. You see that with a bunch of abilities related around survivability and all these new heroes, especially with a tank that's more back-centered, more distance. It's kind of like Sigma, if Sigma had infinite range, and it's very good. We'll talk more about Domina next week, but she's fantastic, and the reasons why are the reasons you're seeing here.
Yeah.
There is a lack of survivability in Overwatch in every which facet. They are doing a great job getting around that, and a lot of the heroes the Syracuse squad are playing are basically alternate heroes to play with those new ones.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, we're not going to go too much into those new characters, but you look at how Syracuse is playing, just keep that in mind. It will be very similar to how they will be playing with some of these new characters in a couple weeks. Sort of the aggression, the brawl, the advantage on the splits they're doing. It will be almost identical, just with different names and different abilities. Especially on the support role, things will change up, and obviously Domina will be a very, very scary tank. The first hit scan tank ever in Overwatch.
The support role will be it will be scary.
It will be a flying cat.
It will be a flying cat with a tether that, if you've ever seen the way a crane works, so you're attaching. I know we said we weren't going to talk about the new heroes, but I have to talk about the new heroes.
You want to talk about the cat?
I cannot talk about Jetpack Cat. That is the funniest thing I have ever seen. They just were like, "Let's add the funniest character ever," and then they did, and it's awesome. I can't even lie. Like I turned an Overwatch YouTube video on today that wasn't about the meta. I watched a guy play Overwatch for 3 hours, and I was enjoying it because he was playing Jetpack Cat. I love Overwatch content, don't get me wrong, but I've never enjoyed casual content of really any video game before.
No,
I'm
that's
much
fair.
more of an information guy. And this is silly. It's nonsensical in a competitive game, and that's exactly what makes it great because the meta is 3-dimensional now. You are picking a Bastion up and using it like a wrecking ball. Anyway, I apologize for that rant there. I'm very excited about Jetpack Cat specifically. The other heroes are kind of just interesting new other heroes that are the same as not other heroes, but in the sense of they're Overwatch characters.
Yeah.
Jetpack Cat, not an Overwatch character.
Yeah, and you know we'll talk about that. Carson will give you the color casting of Jetpack Cat, and I will tell you about the other 4 that are coming into the game later. Though we'll talk about those fun guys later. Domina is going to be probably, in my opinion, one of the most interesting characters to add into the game. Like I said, first hit scan tank in the game. I mean, Lunar has been playing them a lot recently.
Explain that for those who do not know it.
Yes, I probably should. Right. So, hit scan. Imagine you're playing on a computer. right? Or you're playing on a console. It's crazy. I know. It's really, really far out stuff here, okay? So when you click the trigger on a control, which one is that? Is that the...
Right trigger.
It's the right trigger?
Right trigger.
I'm not a console guy, okay?
Used
You
to
click
be.
the right trigger, okay? Or you click the left mouse button on a mouse. The second you click, wherever you're aiming, that will hit.
Yes.
Hit, scan.
It's like using a laser pointer
Yes.
versus throwing a rock at someone.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
I mean
it
that's...
is at someone, but
No, I mean it
yeah, I
works,
mean,
right?
that's-
If you point a laser, if I point a laser pointer at Carson, right, it's gonna hit him right when I click the button, right? So that's hit scan. But if I'm projectile and I have a pencil, that's projectile. It takes time to actually go and hit Carson.
Wow.
That's how most of the tanks outside of just melee, and melee is, you know, I tap Carson on the shoulder. That's melee, right? Projectile takes time. That's where the tanks have been basically forever in Overwatch until now, where Demonia is, or that's not how you say her name.
whoa.
I said the name wrong. When she gets into the game, she will be hit scan,
Yes.
and that's Lunar's having a fun time. 16,000 damage per 10 minutes is a wild number from
Yeah.
tank.
Anyway, we'll get back into this game. Excuse me, we finally got around to it, got rid of some tech issues. We are back on Kings Row, which is good news for the Overwatch side.
Yeah, so
And the University of Nebraska going to ban Symmetra, which is...
I mean, I get it.
I mean, we
'cause-
banned Reinhardt.
Yeah,
Neither of these characters were going to be played today, but...
I mean, you know, if you're Syracuse, Ryan TP Brawl is a very scary composition.
yeah, I mean, that's actually fair, because that team is entirely revolving right now about what will be RAM. For today, probably, it will be RAM, just based on how other heroes are played. I mean, you're looking at a very similar meta to what you saw 2 weeks ago, rather.
Yeah.
But it's different in a lot of ways, some ways. Either way, it's going to be interesting to see where Dive goes, because obviously it's an evolution now, where you're not going to have traditional Brawl and Dive anymore. You are going to have a jetpack cat throw your hero in. You do not need movement abilities anymore. One of your other characters can be your movement ability if you're so keen.
Yeah.
You are going to see Reaper gameplay that you've never seen before. You're going to see Reaper get thrown into an objective and just hit Q. It's going to be very fun, and I'm looking forward to it, especially in Las Vegas. We are going to see all the chips go down in a completely new and unique way. It promotes creativity, which is what you want. As Syracuse immediately at this checkpoint going through. Azer nails one. Saber 6 gone in just a moment. No heals around. They were too far. Didn't know where they were. Azer another one with that sword. Mac as well as Lunar together getting rid of Swimmer Dude and Ash. And again, B-Dog and Azer go down though, but should be too little too late for Nebraska. They essentially have 2 players up top.
Yeah, I mean, that was beautifully executed from Syracuse. I mean, that was textbook execution of what they should have done there, right? Is, you know, they turn the corner, they take no damage in that sort of mid-neutral fight, and they immediately crash out on the corner, they win the fight, and then boom, just like that, Syracuse winning that. Azer playing the Vendetta. Quick note here, that's a flanker sub roll. All it does, 75 more HP on health packs they find.
Yeah, it's helpful, but not as helpful as some would believe. Nemesis form again. Swimmer Dude goes down. Interesting May pick here, especially for that checkpoint, was how they were trying to go through it, but it was too little too late. I just watched Azer run them over like a Mack truck. Goodness gracious, as Mack got a flash kill. Not too often you see that, very low health for a member of their squad.
Yeah, I mean, Syracuse is simply gonna walk this. I mean, that's all they have to do is walk this forward into this brawl. You have Azer in a sense frontlining with that extra HP that you get. Vendetta has a little bit less shield, but more HP. It swapped. That's all it was. Azer sitting on the flank here, and it's just gonna put so much pressure in and pinch together with Lunar here on this Ramatra, and this is just perfect.
Nobody looked to their right as Azer fighting the last of the support, and what it will do if they don't get anything is get value in the front, because everybody has to turn around. Saint gets rid of Swimmer Dude in that chaos. Somehow Nebraska keeps composure. Forward again. Here comes a Kitsune rush from the orange. Back on that other end, Nemesis form forward as Lunar doesn't hit the ult, but doesn't need it. Azer gets rid of one in the form of Saber with a sword headshot. One more for Lunar. And goodness gracious, Azer is on a roll on that Vendetta. Has a few revenge kicks. Back on the other end again. Nemesis form for Lunar, and just... Hi, Mac. Just carnage in the other end.
Yeah, I mean, Syracuse, they're just playing the game they want to play right now. I mean, they are taking full control of the tempo of the game. They're taking full control of how they want to play said game, and they're just not letting Nebraska breathe. Syracuse, having Max sit on that cart, going to finally secure it. 5.5 minutes here to secure the rest of this point. And I mean, Carson, this is just beautifully executed from this Syracuse squad. A really good rush from B-Dog late puts them in a good spot. Now Syracuse has more ultimates to use if they so choose to, and they're going to control this right side. And already Swimmer Dude is out of position.
Yeah, left side there, but it could help. Ash gets rid of one in the form of B-Dog, so some support lacking. The main source there is it's a good team fight win for Nebraska. They're forced to back off. Saint away for the first time all night. It's a team fight win for Nebraska. And it took a long time, but the Cornhuskers found their way. They back up, they take a moment. Mac goes down. It's a good stagger here from Nebraska as the Cornhuskers again try and put their defense up and have 4 minutes and 40 seconds to prevent a capture.
Yeah, I mean, that was beautifully executed as well, right? I mean, they saw that Syracuse's brawl was split. They're like, hey, that's when they're weakest, and they took full advantage of getting those kills. Azer going down early, Mac on the Widow now. And that's something to be aware of, right? If he can get these headshots, it's just going to be game over for Nebraska. There's one as the Ash goes down.
Mac with a great headshot on Widowmaker. Patience here looking for a squishier character. Shoots between two, but Azer makes sure it's done anyway. Here is a ult there from DeLucio of the Syracuse side, as well as Lunar, who gets 2, maybe 3, trifecta for the... I almost said the captain, but there's the captain getting 1. Lunar not the captain just yet. I would guess that is where that will go, but he is just the tank for now.
Just the tank.
Just the tank.
Hey, the soul tank.
The soul tank.
The soul tank. The only tank.
I need a tank.
You need a tank?
Some might say you need no tank, but we don't play much
I
Doomfist
need a
around
hero.
here. Nemesis forward again as Jaxol goes down for their squad. And again, trying to find a way as they just do not have enough space, enough time, or enough support anywhere. Azer chops one into, back forward, again, Azer looking for another, and gets another. Saber gets rid of Lunar, but with no support, how long can their ram last? Support finally comes, though, and they will maybe have a team fight here, but with so little distance, can the Lucio keep them on? Azer 2, Mac, a headshot, and one more in the other end, the orange capture with 3 minutes and 15 to go.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely phenomenal from Syracuse. Azer, I do want to mention, right, look at the patience, right? The patience coming out from Azer on that specific on that specific character as we take a look at the captain of the team. So patient on that Vendetta, a character that you think, you know, go in, keep slashing the sword, get the kills, but no, he was patient, he was collected, and then he made sure that when he was going in, he had an objective in mind, he had his cooldowns, he got the kill, and he put his team up in the lead.
Very good start there, and led by the Huntington, New York native. Gotta love Azer. Harris has been very good through his career here and is coming to an end here, hoping for a PEC championship and an appearance in the CECC tournament at minimum, which should be pretty much guaranteed, because I think no matter who wins, Ohio State will have, well, Ohio State or Boise will have both have clinched, because Ohio State is winning a league right now that I can't remember that they are in, but they are winning a league right now.
They are, yes.
And will probably win. The competition there is very good, but Ohio State is full of a bunch of sickos, and I mean that in a very good sense. That is one of my favorite compliments to call people. They know this game more than anybody else. They are complete Overwatch sickos in every sense of the word, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of sickos here, Carson, Moira Lifeweaver here coming out on the support line for Syracuse, and it's going to be purely based off Lunar running it down, looking for the kill, and coming back alive. And then Venture for Azer is going to be just in the back line as well.
Yeah, it's the going to be a difficult task, I think, even for Nebraska to beat, because you don't really know what's going to happen. Neither does Syracuse, and if you don't know what's going to happen, how could they? And one for Mac immediately as Vendetta helped a heavy amount with that one. Lunar gets a spear twirl as Saber goes down. Mac still on that Sojourn, gets rid of Tracer with a pretty good right click there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be difficult for Nebraska because legitimately, when you play a team that has no comp, sometimes there is no way to beat it because you have no idea how to counter it. It is a weird level of Overwatch.
And that's kind of what you see, right? I mean, Azer's on the Venture here, and he engages with Lunar, and he lives just like that from the Life Weaver. And then you just go back in again, and Lunar is going to be punished in the spawn door as B-Dog on this Moira throws the orb in. It just makes life difficult. His back finds 3.
Wow. I mean, it's not often you see so many unchecked healers in the back line of the other team that are not the healers that the other team has, but you know, it's a special day for B-Dog and Saint. They are playing offense. Oh my goodness.
Mac won that fight.
He's an act truck at certain times, and yeah, that was a fight win, and there was no doubt about it in my mind. Forward here, Mac going to get that extra charge, gets rid of one in the form of Tracer, going for another. He'll have it! One more, Azer assisted though there. Actually, just straight up got it, never mind, excuse me. Saber goes down as 2 minutes and 10 seconds remain. Less time the Orange will have if they somehow make overtime to push themselves. Forward again, Lunar trying to find a way to really just make it uneasy, and they've been doing a great job so far. Here's a spear, and here's more pressure from the Orange.
Yeah, I mean, Syracuse with these support ultimates coming online as well is going to be impossible. Trades on either side. Azer and Swimmer dude go down, but already in the spawn again. It's back. He finds one, Carson, and he's going to look for the rest of the team. He barely lives with the life grip.
A great grip event there from B-Dog, Sojourn pushing forward again with the combination. Excuse me, that was not Sojourn, that was Moira and a Sojourn all just living.
Yep.
Despite hitting the ult. Goodness gracious. Swimmer is able to get one though. This could be a tide turner for Nebraska. The Huskers trying to find some semblance of starch in their cornfield right now. Forward again into the Life Weaver tree. It's going to be really difficult for them to find a way to heal. Azer 2 with the ult. And a third. Mac gets rid of Saber.
Yeah, I mean, 2 support ults. What are you going to do? And the Coalescence and Tree, it's almost impossible to live through that. I mean, Azer already sitting in the front. He's going to look to grab someone. Is going to get gripped back. But, I mean, Syracuse, they just have so much control. There are good ultimates on the line of Nebraska. But this is final fight territory here, Carson, if they take it in a long fight.
I like the Zarya swap here. Maybe a bit too late, but Swimmer Dude, they just don't know where Vendetta is. Vendetta, free damage up top, really helping out. Swimmer Dude able to get Saint. Or excuse me, get one, but Mac able to get rid of Saber. And that's going to be potentially a killing blow. One more there. Lunar goes down, but B-Dog and Azer collect 2 themselves. As another one for this Nebraska squad moving towards point. They finally have some momentum, but Mac really stuffing them back again. They aren't taking any space despite the lack of a tank or a DPS. It's just a DPS and a support at this point for a few moments, and they didn't push forward at all. They finally have space for Nebraska. 13 seconds remain. Can they find something here? Some boost from Saint in the back line. I mean, when your tank is the farthest back of anybody, that's typically a good sign for your team, or a bad one. Mac getting rid of one with the E, gets rid of that Tracer. Forward again, and that fight will be over. Syracuse will take a 2-0 lead over Nebraska.
Yeah, and I mean, you noticed how Azer died on the Venture there, and Nebraska goes to Tracer. Instantly, the Torb switch, right? You see the Tracer, you play Torb, the Tracer gets no value, and it's just like, you look at the Syracuse squad, you look at how fast they're able to adapt, you look at how they're playing this game, they know what their goals are. It's a lot of individual goals. Goals. It's, you said...
I couldn't think of the voice, so I just
the mind
did
voice
like a
from Nemo. No, I get it.
Mine? Yeah, but I was not close.
Oh, well, you know, it happens. But I mean, the Syracuse squad, right? Mac, your job, sit on the top of the bus and shoot people. Azer, your job, run around the map, see if you can find a kill, and if not, we're going to grip you out. Lifeweaver, your job, get people out of the fight if needed. Lunar, your job, sit there, take damage. That was it. That was literally Lunar's job.
That was that.
Yeah, I mean,
Lunar did a lot of damage.
Yeah, that is true, but I mean, like, that Syracuse perfection on that.
Lunar statistically the best tank in the PEC. Because King Donut doesn't play often past Game 3, unfortunately. King Donut is very good. I think I would probably say King Donut is the best player in the PEC. King Donut has a obsession with the game that somehow, I don't know how he understands it so well.
Yeah, no, that's
Every
fair.
concept that comes to the game, they know it within a day.
Yeah.
They just do.
Yeah.
They just do.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? But a very good job from that Syracuse squad. They'll go up 2-0 and move towards some push on, I believe it'll be main New Queen Street. I almost said main Queen Street, but that's not how street names work, is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we've seen NQS, Carson. I mean, it's a map that a lot of Overwatch players aren't really a particular fan of. And the reason is because if you're familiar with New Queen Street, it goes sort of in a weird type of double like, okay, the letter U, double U space, or sort of style. And it's very, very sort of annoying because you either fight down one straight line, two straight line, three straight line, or four straight line. It's just four straight chokes, and it's very annoying. It's like Coliseo, but 4 times, and it's very difficult. I mean, we've casted over Coliseo multiple times. That sort of main choke in Coliseo is very difficult, and there's only one area. It's that one area at the top of New Queen Street, which is only viable for half the point.
I wish you could mod maps in Overwatch, because what if Coliseo was just the
Just
whole
forever
midsection,
long.
but
It's like one of those hallways
well,
that
it's
just
the
never
same
end.
distance, but it's just like it's a long hallway instead of anything else.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's essentially the Coliseo
brutal.
hallway, but it turns left and right at certain times, and you go up and down sometimes. I guess Coliseo is a ramp in the middle, but here nor there, if what a ramp is compared to a stairwell compared to a turn on New Queen Street. But they'll be looking to turn a new leaf over at the Nebraska side, trying to find some fertilizer for their corn as the Huskers try and find a way to really put it in gear. They've really struggled here, Ryan, and a lot of it has been just kind of in the fact of their comps aren't getting enough healing in the way they want.
Yeah, and what is the sort of one of the most crucial factors when you're making corn? You need a field. What things destroy fields, Carson? Drills. Drills destroy fields. And so they're going to go ahead and they're going to ban Venture. Syracuse is going to ban the SIG in return, and they're going to be like, fine, you want to ban our Venture? We're still going to make you play Brawl, though, because we won 2 games in a row on Brawl. You don't get to play Sigma. If you want to play anything else, though, we're okay with that.
Yeah, Poke, obviously, kind of a... I don't know how to really describe what the new meta will become, because I think it's kind of one of those things where you have new words for it.
Pavois.
Wow.
Poke and Brawl.
Wow.
Pavois.
Wow. It's a French term for nothing.
I'm in French 101 right now.
Is that a real word?
No, probably not. I'm not doing good in French 101. I just have to take it to graduate, Carson.
Oh,
I don't speak foreign language. I can't even speak English.
Oh, golly. I mean, that's kind of true. I guess your job is to speak a little bit here, so I'm glad you've done a good enough job there. Obviously, Ryan is a senior. I am a sophomore. It's going to be really interesting to see kind of how we move on as a program from legends like yourself. I'm gonna miss you too. It'll be lonely in this booth. There will be other people in this booth. Let me be clear. I'm not just gonna be alone for 2 years and then eventually it'll just be like no audio and it'll cut to the caster booth and there's just nothing.
Just a ghost town. I mean, you won't see me tomorrow. Normally you see me and Carson on Wednesdays. You won't see me tomorrow
we
actually.
We do have a new caster. We are debuting. I'm very excited to see him for the first time. Well, not for the first time. For the first time on Valorant and on the professional.
If you've
stream.
seen Orange Jam, then you've seen this individual.
Yes, you will.
So that's your teaser.
You will love Gungeon. He is
there goes the teaser.
If you know Gungeon, you should be very excited. If you don't, you should be very excited. And now it's a
very
name
good
to a
caster.
face. Well, there's no face right now. It's just a name for now.
Just a name.
His face will be here tomorrow.
Yes, in replace of me.
Boy, like a Led Zeppelin song. We ramble on here, but University of Nebraska taking on Syracuse in Game 3 now. Nepal was a win. The ban there is on the wrong side. Vendetta is not banned enough for us to really have a ban graphic. We did not anticipate that happening ever. But they are banned on that left side. Sigma going to be the ban for Syracuse as we jump right into it.
Yeah, and so with that, you see a composition that Syracuse is tried and true on. The Zarya, Sojourn, Tracer, Kiriko, Lucio. We saw this a lot last season. We saw this a lot at the start of this season. This is the meta when you ignore everything else that has changed in the game. And Syracuse is going to start off strong with it. Mac finding the first kill.
It's a good right click there on the Baptiste, Baptiste? Yeah, yep. Baptiste on their side. Lunar, one more. Orange Swimmer doing another one for the Orange. 3 straight eliminations. Wow, starting off pretty similar as Mac and Azer get 2 together. Junker Queen, an interesting pick for Nebraska, who are playing a bit of a weird dive poke brawl combo. A little bit of everything. It's got a little something for everyone. If IGN was talking about it here, but 2-0 for the Orange and looking pretty good so far. One back. I think it's Mac sitting on the other side. 4 on 5 here because the Orange have 1 remaining on point. Kiriko saves Mac. Good support work keeping the Orange alive despite a disadvantage. They'll have to back off a little bit, but Swimmer Dude stuck in the wrong place. Wall comes up, but walled themselves off, having to use more utility there in their abilities. Mac able to get 1. as Nebraska collects 2 in the form of Lunar, Saint, and actually 3. Azer goes down as well, or Azer the only one that didn't go down, I'm sorry. B-Dog went down as well and went back to spawn there.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Nebraska, you lost this map to Syracuse last time, so you're clearly comfortable in this match. But just for anyone who's wondering, Syracuse started off very badly, almost fully capped 140-0. They then switched their comp to what they're running right now and fully reversed it. So if you see this and you're Nebraska and you're like, oh, they started out on this comp, I'm personally a little worried. I mean, this comp for Syracuse is so well done for them and they know how to play it. I mean, Azer does go down. This could be what Nebraska's been really rehearsing into their scrims.
Their bread and butter, or should I say their corn and grits, has just really been this Junker Queen meta here on New Queen Street. It's not typically something that would work here, but for some reason for Nebraska, their tank, Saber, does a great job there. But Mac, unfortunately, is an unstoppable object versus really anything. It doesn't really matter what's on the other side because he's going to right-click it and it'll be gone soon. 3 for Mac, trifecta. A very good hat trick as they move forward, and keep pushing it as they try and regain forward spawn for the first time.
Yeah, Mac is the 4th law of Newton's laws of motion. That is, an object in motion will stay in motion, and I don't care about the first 3 laws. It's that simple.
Yeah, I mean, something. I don't know anything about physics. I almost failed that class in high school, but what I can tell you is a graviton surge's black hole that did not work out for the Orange here, as they kind of pushed alone. Lunar hit that Q and nobody was there to reinforce in time. They'll back up. They have to give some more space to Nebraska here, but as time dwindles for this Nebraska squad, they need to find a way to push to that orange mark. You'll see it on that other side. Orange have forward spawn, will lose it once it gets to the middle, and forward spawn is marked by those of you who are watching for the first time in that little marker at the top. Here comes the ult for Mac. Forward, gets rid of one, looking to fight 1-on-5, and somehow almost did it for a moment there before the team came in reinforced.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Mac on this Sojourn is just disgusting. Goes for the 360, doesn't quite find it, but finds it anyways. Wait, 5? Oh, Lunar. That was me.
I just heard someone scream on stage. That was lesser. Rocket League team's playing tonight. You may have just heard that they were, but Syracuse still doing a good job. Let's go see Mac cook in the kitchen. Nothing but grill. Goes up top with the Baptiste 360s, gets rid of them in a heart-stopping moment. As if you were on that side of Nebraska, not so much for the Orange. It's cool as a cucumbers for them.
Yeah, I mean, Syracuse, they now get to go up this ramp, and this is one of the hardest parts of New Queen Street is getting up here, but Syracuse is going to start off strong with a couple kills and an ult.
Despite a Junker Queen anti-ult, they really get rid of most of them. The wall helps too from their Baptiste, but it's going to be, I think, overall, Syracuse win in that team fight as Saint and Azer, with the help of Lunar, just clean up and walk away. Now they have forward spawn and are about 60 meters 60 meters ahead of the squad.
Yeah, and you know, Carson, if you said Overwatch, that's okay, because it's Overwatch now, not Overwatch 2. So
I don't know if we talked about that.
We did not talk about that.
Said it one time.
But yeah, Overwatch is now Overwatch and not Overwatch 2, and Mac finds one.
Still gonna have one tank though here, and we watch them duel. Lunar pushing forward with full charge. Nobody watching. Syracuse gets a ult in for the Lucio as the beat drops. The Huskers will too. Immediately out. Oh my goodness. Immediately out of the force field, and Mac is overcharged and not the right place to be, Jack. So they get rid of them quite quickly, and we are in the stage where they are waiting at the door. They're waiting at the door. Syracuse 5 meters away, and the entire team is in a graviton search. Can they get there? No! Good usage by Lunar. It's not often you see an entire team in an ult. Felt like Mercy in I don't know when this game came
that
out.
was a while ago.
That was
2016.
I miss Mercy Revive. I don't think anyone else does.
No!
Mac is pretty much player of the game for a very good reason. You're about to see why as he turns corn to the cob. Shucked right off is 3K there. They move on. Orange win 3-0 over the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, Mac had played the game 2/3 of this series. And to be honest, I think the only reason he didn't have the third game is because Lunar had a 3K ult of his own in the first match, and Mac was on Cassidy instead of Sojourn. But, like, I mean, we got to see Syracuse experiment a little bit, and then they're also like, all right, let's play what was meta, just make sure we still got it in us. They played it to perfection. They played it very, very well. We saw the individual talent. We saw the individual skill. We saw the fundamental gameplay from the team. That's the Syracuse you sort of wanted to see play against Ohio State, and it proves they've still got it. And They broke the curse. They won on patch day.
Yeah. That's a big curse to break, is Tuesday is not going to be included in Las Vegas, but there will be plenty more Tuesdays to play the rest of this semester.
This is true.
So, I've been Carson Cass with Ryan Blankenhorn. Orange moved to 2-0 this week. We will continue to see whether the Smash team wins the night they are playing tonight, but tomorrow, Valorant to finish the week off on a Wednesday. How about that? Thank you very much for watching, and have a great night.